us call ourselves psychiatric survivors, consumers. The whole peer movement is a civil rights movement. So with informed consent, you must be told and understand the nature and extent of the diagnosis, why the doctor believes you need treatment, what treatment is recommended, the risks, benefits, and likely outcomes, and the alternatives.
I think the RLC is one of the most exciting things that's happened in the local mental health community and the broader community. The RLC is offering people who've been diagnosed by the mental health system and who have often been in the mental health system in various ways for many, many years, an opportunity to work together with their peers and to develop the programs and the initiatives and the ideas and the activities that they themselves think are important.
I was struggling to go outside at all, and I went to get a coffee, and there was a newspaper open on the counter, and the words of an employment ad from the Western Massachusetts Recovery Learning Community just leapt off the page at me. It concluded with lived experience with a psychiatric diagnosis, trauma, or extreme states is required.
I mean, I have many friends who I don't tell I've been in the institution because I feel they would just judge me. This is like totally different. You get the feeling they really want to hear your problems. They actually care about how you're doing, and they want to know how you're feeling and how you're doing, and it means something.
Rather than a set of rules, we have a set of defining principles that guide us, including safety, respect, optimism, self-determination, personal strength, mutuality, and genuine human relationships. For example, under self-determination, we talk about the freedom to choose our own path to recovery and the tools we use along the way, be they support groups, acupuncture, yoga, wellness recovery action plans, medications, or what have you. The RLC offers a variety of things, including advocacy, support groups, computer classes, Spanish classes, art and music events, or just fun things like Wii and karaoke.
Just the fact that lived experience was valuable to somebody, that my story mattered, that my journey mattered, that there were good things that I could take out of that suffering and extend a hand to other people. That was the turning point.
I had some rough times in my life. I had ended up in the hospital with severe depression and hearing voices. I grown up all my life and dealt with a very bad muscle disease, which I learned to deal with. But then life threw me a curveball. My daughter got murdered, and she had just turned 40. This saved my life. Otherwise, I would have been back in the hospital. I'm not even on antidepressants anymore because they were making me tune out, which I didn't want to do because I knew if I stayed home, I'd land back in the hospital again. And it's a place I come. I enjoy coming here. They have Reiki, they have yoga, some things I can't do, and they understand. And they help you move along.
One of our doctors interrupted me while I was doing an in-service when I was talking to other professionals and saying, I don't do what you guys do. I'm a peer and I offer support on that level. And he interrupted and said that that was not the case at all, that I do what they do. It's just that peers listen to peers. So I do it more effectively.
We believe in the power of relationships, that recovery does not happen in isolation. Healing happens in connection with other people. So one of our biggest jobs then at the RLC is to build community. And we recently put on an event in Franklin County that is an example of this, which is the Rolling Coffee House.
And it was all people, peers with lived experience, playing music, poetry, there was belly dance, there were skits. It was just an absolutely incredible evening.
One child walking, one child walking, another on the way. One child walking, one child.
Regardless of why someone developed emotional difficulties in the first place, they can't help but feel isolated once they have those difficulties, especially once they have a serious diagnosis given to them by a psychiatrist like schizophrenia or bipolar illness or dissociative disorder or any of the other serious diagnoses with which people come to the RLC. And talking about those difficulties with people who have walked in their shoes can make an enormous difference in people's ability to see their own troubles in a broader context so that they don't feel so bizarre in their own experience.
Hearing voices groups are popular in England and Europe and fairly widespread. And what they're about is, you know, creating a context where people can talk about their voices or their altered experiences and not be pathologized for those experiences and support each other the best way that they can.
I do hear voices, and it's, I don't know, I wouldn't say it's a bad thing, but it's so good to just sort of have people just sort of say, okay, that's fine, it's all right, like, let's talk about it.
If you go to a psychiatrist and you say, I hear voices and other people don't hear them, you're likely to be diagnosed with schizophrenia and given a medication, but no one is likely to say to you, well, what do those voices say to you? In other words, if you only see voice hearing as a symptom, you don't actually learn very much about what it's like for the person.
It wakes me up in the morning. If I sort of sleep into 12 and I don't want to get up and I don't think there's a reason to get up, it says get up, eat breakfast, watch TV. So there's a purpose for it. And I mean, it's just labeling it as bad and trying to get rid of it, I think is sort of missing the point of it. I think understanding it and sort of, just understanding it and seeing where it's coming from is more helpful.
Tides of broken day, time gave us a window. Can you see an ending?
Nos sentimos mucho mejor porque nosotros sacamos nuestros problemas emocionales y eso es lo que hace falta aquí. Y lo que tenemos aquí es apoyo uno al otro.
It was kind of like the doorway that I needed to better myself and to step up for myself, I guess, in a way that I would not be able to if I was isolated or alone.
The message of recovery was not something that I really knew that much about until I heard about the recovery learning community. And so the relationships that I've built just as a peer have probably almost tripled my support base.
I think the system is starting to recognize the power of peer support, the power of relationships and healing, the power of community, and I think that's where we need to go, whether it's funded by the Department of Mental Health or it's just in our own lives, in our own neighborhoods. I think that we have a lot more power as a community than we give ourselves credit for.
We're a community that supports one another, learns from one another, helps each other problem solve, and just enjoys one another's company. Ultimately, we believe that the opportunity to connect with other people is more important than what you do while you're connecting.
mind accumulates when I feel this weight deep in my heart. Nobody can escape the hugs, the love, the joy and laughter. Matter of fact, I'm giving y'all another chapter, no path to look after. After me there was nothing, so I'm still gradually starting making my own instead of hunting. When it comes to that, I guess I gotta leave it alone and keep running instead of jumping, just be on the throne. Negativity can never get to me, that's why I stay in this lifetime history, displaying my words and mysteries, keeping me in motion. Deep as the ocean, I'm floating, focused with my eyes wide open. I wanna live a good life. You ain't noticed positive energy. That's my focus, I wanna live a good life. You ain't noticed positive energy. That's my focus, I wanna live a good life. You ain't noticed positive energy. That's my focus, honestly and realistically. Positive energy is the remedy that I'm striving for seriously, cause negativity could lead to a consequence pathetically. It's like mathematic capability, a negative plus a positive equals zero. It's like a bad guy versus hero, winner, like standing dead still, living your life on a treadmill. You only live once, so let your first move be the best deal. I strive to seek a positive way to overcome my stress field, cause negativity's real, it's in the atmosphere, where everybody else is out there like, yo, who cares? If I'm asked that question, I'ma say yeah, cause I got something to look forward to out there. Yeah, I wanna live a good life. You ain't noticed positive.